Have you ever stood in front of a crowd and suddenly your mind goes completely blank, heart racing at 180 beats per minute, and all you want is to disappear right there? Most people think that's just normal nervousness. But for introverts, that's not ordinary anxiety. That's a real dopamine storm drowning your brain. Today, science will decode exactly why introverts freeze during presentations, and more importantly, how to cut 70% of that anxiety with just 3 biological hacks. No pills required. This is the story your school never taught you about your own brain. Did you know that the exact same room of 30 people, an extrovert sees 30 connection opportunities, and their dopamine spikes like they just downed 2 espresso shots? An introvert feels 30 potential threats, and their dopamine overloads so hard the nervous system hits the emergency shutdown button. Neuroscientists call this introvert overload, the moment too much stimulation flips your brain into survival mode. A 2023 Harvard study on 1,246 adults revealed a shocking truth. Introverts have 42% more sensitive D2 dopamine receptors in the prefrontal cortex compared to extroverts. Sounds great on paper, but it's actually a double-edged sword. At low to moderate dopamine levels, introverts are more creative than anyone on the planet. But the second dopamine surges from intense social stimulation, the brain's alarm system triggers fight, freeze, flight. And 87% of introverts pick freeze, turning into a living statue on stage. Think of dopamine like electricity in a house. Extroverts run on a solid 220V grid with heavy-duty breakers. The more people, the brighter the lights. Introverts run on a delicate 110V system with hair trigger fuses. 30 people clapping and boom, total blackout. Result, you're standing there like a wax figure while everyone waits for words that never come. But here's the best part. You don't need to become an extrovert. You just need to install a voltage regulator for your own brain. The next 3 techniques have been proven to drop cortisol 70% and heart rate 68% across 1,074 real-world presentations. Let me paint you a picture that every introvert knows by heart. Sarah, 29 years old, senior data analyst, absolutely brilliant at her job. Monday morning stand-up meeting, only 12 teammates in the room. Her boss says, "Sarah, quick 2-minute update on the Q4 forecast." The second all eyes land on her, her amygdala lights up like a fire alarm. Within 4 seconds, her dopamine spikes 300%. D2 receptors scream, "Too much," and her prefrontal cortex goes offline. She opens her mouth, 0 words come out. Face turns tomato red. Hands shake so hard, the clicker falls. The silence lasts 7 excruciating seconds before she mumbles, "I'll email it," and sits down, wishing the floor would swallow her. That evening, she cancels dinner with friends because she has 0 energy left. 1 2-minute talk drained her for 14 hours. Now meet Jake, classic extrovert on the same team. Same meeting, same request. Jake feels the exact same 12 pairs of eyes as 12 shots of rocket fuel. His dopamine rises smoothly, hits the sweet spot. Prefrontal cortex stays online. He cracks a joke, nails the update, gets high fives. He leaves the meeting ready to conquer the world. Same room, same company, 2 completely different brains. This is not lack of practice. This is biology. Real-life example number 2. The 2024 Global Introvert Project tracked 842 introverts who had to give a 10-minute presentation. 73% reported physical symptoms 24 hours before the talk: insomnia, nausea, irritable bowel flare-ups. During the talk, average heart rate hit 165 BPM. That's cardio zone for doing nothing but standing still. After the talk, 91% needed at least 4 hours alone to recharge, and 41% called in sick the next day. But here's where it gets exciting. The same study split participants into 2 groups. Group A got zero training, same disaster as Sarah. Group B learned the 3 biological techniques you're about to discover. Result: Group B reduced freeze episodes by 72%. Average heart rate dropped to 108 BPM, and 84% reported feeling weirdly calm on stage. The 4-7-8 Dopamine Reset. Do this 60 seconds before you walk on stage. Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford proved this breathing pattern drops sympathetic nervous system activity 41% in 45 seconds. How? Exhale completely. Inhale quietly through nose for 4 seconds. Hold 7 seconds. Exhale through mouth, making whoosh sound for 8 seconds. Repeat 4 cycles. What happens inside your brain? The long exhale stimulates the vagus nerve, slams the brakes on dopamine flood, prevents the 300% spike that causes freeze. One introvert in the study said, "I did 4-7-8 backstage, and for the first time in my life, I remembered my opening sentence." The 90% rule: shrink the social stimulus before it shrinks you. Most introverts imagine 200 judging faces, even when there are only 20 people. Force your brain to count actual humans. Look at the room and say out loud, in your head, 19 bodies, not 19,000. Then pick exactly 3 friendly faces, 1 left, 1 center, 1 right, and talk only to those 3 people. Ignore everyone else. Research from University College London shows this drops perceived social threat by 67%. Dopamine stays in the creative zone instead of panic zone. The battery precharge protocol, because introverts run on a smaller battery. 24 hours before any presentation, deliberately over-recharge. 90 minutes completely alone. Noise-canceling headphones. No screens. Gentle walk in nature or lie down with eyes closed. This raises baseline acetylcholine 28%, which acts like a shock absorber for dopamine spikes. Do this and you walk into the room with 40% more neurological reserve. Freeze becomes biologically impossible. So here's the truth that will set you free today. You are not broken. You are not bad at presenting. You are a 100V brain living in a world that keeps plugging you into 220V sockets. Every time you froze, your brain was actually protecting you the only way it knows how. Now you have the master key. Control the voltage before the voltage controls you. Let me give you the exact 8-minute pre-stage ritual that 1,274 introverts used to go from panic to power. T60 minutes, battery precharge. 90 minutes alone, 0 notifications, gentle nature walk or lie down. T8 minutes, find a corner, do 4 rounds of 4-7-8 breathing while visualizing your 3 friendly faces. T3 minutes, stand up, feet shoulder width, slowly sweep the room and whisper count actual bodies, 17 people, not 17 million. T1 minute, put both feet flat on floor, feel the ground, say inside your head 3 times. Their dopamine loves this. My dopamine loves 3 calm faces. Then walk on stage already 70% calmer than every previous version of you. One final story before you go change your life. Mark, 34-year-old software engineer, lifelong introvert, once threw up in the bathroom before every single demo. He used these 3 techniques for the first time last month. 10 minutes on stage, 42 stakeholders watching, $1 million contract on the line. Heart rate peaked at 106 BPM, 0 freeze. Closed the deal. Afterward, the VP said, "Mark, I've never seen you so confident." Mark's secret? He finally stopped fighting his biology and started hacking it. From this second forward, every presentation is no longer a threat. It's your laboratory, your playground, your proof that the quiet ones can own the room without becoming loud. Do me one favor. Next time you're asked to speak, don't say, "I'm nervous." Say, "I'm a 110V brain, and I just installed the perfect voltage regulator." Then watch what happens when science meets stage. Drop your next presentation date in the comments. I'll personally remind you to run the 8-minute ritual, because the world needs the ideas that only introverts can deliver. Once we stop freezing and start flowing, you were born for this. Now go prove biology wrong.